Annyeonghaseyo, this is meowmurai. Let's continue our game of Tsukihime, a piece of Blue Glass Moon running on Nintendo Switch 2.
確か1階の西館の方に書庫があったっけ。暇な時はそこから何か見繕うことにするよ。
Hisui doesn't respond. She's looking in my direction, but her eyes are fixed on the empty space next to me, rather like a cat. Hisui says nothing. Until she suddenly returns her gaze to me. I blurt out without meaning to. Could she mean... Hisui says, like she's recalling a memory from long ago.
よかった。ここでもそれぐらいはあるんだ。って、ちょっと待って。姉さんってもしかして琥珀さんのこと？
はい。現在、このお屋敷で働かせていただいているものは、私と姉さんの二人きりです。
Now that I think about it, they do look a lot alike. Hisui is so different from her cheery sister, I didn't even consider that they might be related.
そっか。あの人なら確かにバラエティ番組を見てそうなキャラクターだ。
I stopped short of asking to use it, as I feel too embarrassed to go into her room.
ごめん。この話はなかったことにしてくれ。これからここで暮らすんだから、屋敷のルールには従わなくっちゃいけないしね。
I don't think Akiha would ever let me live it down if I spent my first night back lounging in front of the TV. I'll like the perfect little student. Someone worthy of the Tohno name.
夕食まで部屋にいるから、時間になったら呼びに来てくれ。翡翠だって他にやることはあるだろ。
Hisui nods affirmatively and puts her hand on the doorknob. The door opens with a faint squeak. Hisui leaves the room after a small bow. I dine with Akiha. Both Kohaku and Hisui are completely devoted to serving the two of us. Servants aren't allowed to dine at the same table as their masters. It goes without saying, but having grown up with the Automas, this setup makes me uncomfortable. I've also completely forgotten about table manners. Humans have evolved the ability to remove useless pieces of information from their minds, which means any memories I had of table etiquette are long gone. Every movement I make elicits a raised eyebrow from Akiha. It's nerve-wracking, but it does spice up our mealtime. To be honest, the idea I'll be doing this every day from now on is disheartening. Dinner ends in silence. I was so desperate to remember my table manners, I wasn't even able to come up with any small talk. Akiha seemed displeased the entire time. I mean, she's the one who invited me here. She didn't have to do that. Hisui and Kohaku have just finished taking away our plates when the reckoning comes.
やはり徹底的な再教育が必要なようですね。
She says plainly. The cold, cruel comment reverberates around the dining room.
誰にどのような。
兄さんにふさわしい心構えをです。
I knew it. So that's what she was thinking about while raising her eyebrows at me.
その具体的には。
まずは生活習慣の改善。夜間の外出は当然禁止です。門限は8時とします。どのような理由であれ、外出の時は私か琥珀、翡翠の許可を取るように。
An 8 p.m. curfew? How old does she think I am? More importantly, I need permission just to leave.
待て待て、それは。
休日の学習スケジュールはこちらで立てておきます。報告によると兄さんの成績は中の中だそうですね。まったく相変わらず効率よく手を抜くのだけは得意なようで。
とんでもない。俺はいつだって全力だ。
ですがこの屋敷にいる間は本気を出していただきますから、そのつもりで。兄さんはやればできる人なんですから、お体のことを考慮しても学年3位以内は当然でしょ。
My sister is painfully overestimating me, and it's scary how much she knows about my grades.
他の習い事はもう少し落ち着いてからにしましょうか。それでは兄さん、本題のあれを出してください。
はい。
What does she mean by it?
あれといえばあれです。あるでしょう。兄さんのズボンにも若者の象徴のような汚らわしいあれが。それを隠さずに出しなさいと言っているのです。
いや、ますますわからない。これが上流階級のすることか。一般市民を何だと思ってるんだお前は。
ですから携帯端末を出してください。兄さんだって持っているんでしょ。
なるほど。
I take out my phone from my back pocket. As soon as I place it on the table, Hisui wordlessly takes the phone and gives it to Akiha.
これは没収します。当家ではこの手の電子機器は禁止です。健全な学生には不要なものですから。電話ならロビーの備え付けのものを使うように。調べ物がしたいのでしたら図書室をどうぞ。
Akiha cuts our one-sided conversation short and leaves the dining room. I find myself stunned into silence for the nth time today. I was never super attached to my phone. I mostly use it for texting and to check the news when I had some free time, though like most people, I consider it a basic necessity. It's another reminder of how strict the Tohno household really is. I mean, banning phones in this day and age. I return to my room now that dinner is finished. It's just past 9:30 p.m. I spent about 2 hours in the dining room in the end.
お帰りなさいませ、四季様。ご指示はありませんでしたが、就寝の支度をさせていただきました。
Hisui greets me as soon as I enter my bedroom. I see my bed waiting for me, neatly made. She was a step ahead of me, it seems.
うん、ありがとう。
寝巻きはそちらのものをお使いください。着ていらしたお洋服はそちらのカゴに入れ、廊下に出しておいてくだされば助かります。
A wicker basket is placed at the front of the bed. I assume if I put my dirty clothes in here and place it in the hallway, then Hisui will clean them for me. This is starting to feel even more like some upscale hotel.
何かご質問はございますか？
Hisui stands there as still as a statue. I have plenty of questions, but it dawns on me that I know very little about Hisui or Kohaku.
あまり関係ない話なんだけど、いいかい？
はい、何でしょう。
翡翠と琥珀さんがここでどんな仕事をしてるのか知りたいんだけど、どうかな？
私が四季様付きで、姉の琥珀は秋葉お嬢様のお世話をさせていただいております。お二人が留守の間は屋敷の管理を任されていますが、それが何か？
お世話って、やっぱりそういうことか。
My shoulders feel heavy. Akiha explained everything like it went without saying, but I'm just a normal high school student. I don't have much interest in being waited on hand and foot by a girl my own age.
四季様付きってことは、俺専用の使用人ってこと？
はい、何なりと申し付けてください。
Hisui bows deeply. My chest tightens with guilt.
わかった。秋葉のあの言いぶりじゃ俺を一人にはしないだろうし、そもそも俺の気持ちの問題で君を解雇させるのは良くはないと思う。ありがたくお世話になるけど。
何か特別なご要望でもあるのですか？
そんな大それたことじゃなくて、その四季様っていうのはちょっと。俺はそんな柄じゃないし、正直に白状すると分不相応すぎて首根っこをつかまれた気分になる。
ですが四季様は私の主人です。
そうは言うけど、俺は今日まで普通に生きてきた身なんだ。帰ってきただけなのに同い年ぐらいの子に様付けで呼ばれる生活とかちょっと難しい。
Hisui seems nonplussed.
俺のことは遠野さんとか四季さんでいいよ。堅苦しいのはなしにしたいんだ。こっちも君を翡翠さんって呼ぶからさ。
Hisui, though otherwise expressionless, lowers her eyebrows and bites her lip. Man. I wanted to make things easier for her, but it looks like it may have had the opposite effect.
ですがあなたは私の雇い主ですから。
俺が雇ってるわけじゃないだろ。
失礼ながらそれは同じことです、四季様。私どもは遠野家に仕える者、ご当主様もご親族の方も共に尊ぶべき主であることに変わりはありません。ですのでどうか私のことは翡翠とだけお呼びください。お仕えする方に継承で呼ばれる使用人の心境を察していただければ幸いです。
Hard to argue against that. Her answer really does fit that of a manor servant.
俺にできないことをやってくれるんだから、ありがたがるのはこっちなんだけど。
Arguing would only serve to trouble her further. I'll refrain from voicing my own opinions on the matter for now.
呼び方、翡翠でいいんだね。
はい、何としてもそのように。
Her please has a bit of a punch to it.
わかった。じゃあそのように。でも俺に対してあんまり堅苦しいのはなしにしてほしい。お姉さんの琥珀さんにもそう伝えてくれるとありがたい。
はい。四季様がそうおっしゃるのなら。
Hisui lowers her head gracefully. All right, looks like we've got a long ways to go until we can talk casually. Hisui leaves the room after bowing. The moment I'm alone, a wave of exhaustion crashes over me. A lot happened today. My body is crying out for some much-needed rest. I turn out the light and lie on the bed. I can tell I'll sleep like a rock. I try to fight against the sleep creeping in. I'm somehow able to keep my eyes open, but it's a losing battle. No matter how hard I fight, I fall deeper. That's just how the human body is built. I stare at the ceiling, still in the space between consciousness and sleep. Back after 7 years, seeing family again. It still feels like someone else's house.
でも帰ってきたんだろ、お前は。
I say, trying to accept everything. My consciousness slips away as I sink into a deep slumber. A mansion on a high hill, far away from the bustling of the town. Like an island surrounded by a sea of trees. I come to the conclusion the instant my eyes close. It's like a prison. I awake suddenly. Nobody woke me, nor did I hear a sound. It just happened, seemingly for no reason. I wonder how long it's been since I woke up in the middle of the night. I get up, feeling like I have forgotten something. A shiver of unease creeps over me as I exit my room. I start down the hallway in search of a glass of water to slake my thirst. The long moonlit hallway lies before me. The night is totally silent. This all feels so familiar. I must have done exactly this when I was younger. I find myself wandering to the stairs, aimlessly, yet not. There, a hidden section of the mansion. The stairs connect not only the first and second floors, but also to an attic by way of a secret passage. It seems even the people living here have long forgotten this place. The room, once used for storage, shows no trace of anyone having used it in years. Despite being midway through October, it's unseasonably cold tonight. I rummage through the room, hoping to find a blanket. An old cabinet catches my eye. I open each drawer. I find some odds and ends, but little of note. There's nothing worthwhile in the drawers. Even the giant chest I open has only a few scattered stones inside. A badge, a few trinkets, a pair of binoculars, all things a child might collect. Among them, a single thing stands out, different from everything else. Stained badges, sealed in clear plastic. They're rolled up neatly, but so old that they could never be used. There's nothing here. Or stained bandages, not badges. What the hell am I saying? I shut the drawer and start back to my room. I know, why would I save the bandages? Am I sweating or crying? Upon exiting the room, I realize my cheeks are wet. I wonder, could I have used this place when I was a child? I guess those are tears? I don't know. I'm assuming they're tears. Day 2. A day that was not. You realize one day that you don't dream. All you see is your past set on repeat. A tapestry of introspection and rumination. A refrain of what has happened and what will happen through the lens of a lucid dream. You do not dream. I am not here. Shiki Tohno has never known what it means to dream. I do not know you. And so, this story is over. Yet you still continue to dream, unwilling to forget. Like the stars twinkling atop the falling snow. Like the sea roaring amongst the crashing of waves. Like the crumbling moon craving your shadow. Refrain, 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 refrain. Uh-oh.
おはようございます。
Oh, I'm without my glasses. I hear an unfamiliar voice. My consciousness slowly returns.
朝です。お目覚めの時間です。四季様。
I thought I told her I didn't want her calling me master. It makes me super uncomfortable. I open my eyes, grabbing my glasses from the bedside and put them on. The lines fade instantly. I sit up, trying to shake away the remnants of sleep. Where am I?
おはようございます。四季様。
The maid bows.
あ、そうか。遠野の家に戻ってきたんだっけ。
はい。昨日はお疲れだったと存じます。
Hisui stands by the door to my bedroom, her posture perfect, like a statue. My mind is still a bit foggy, likely from sleeping in a new place.
四季様。
Hisui calls out to me. I shake my head to wake myself up.
おはよう、翡翠。わざわざ起こしてくれてありがとう。
そのようなお言葉は不要です。四季様をお起こしするのが私の役割ですから。
Hisui answers flatly. It's too bad, I think. Hisui would be unstoppable if she just had half the brightness of her sister. Not that I have any right to judge someone's character.
何かご用でしょうか。
Hisui speaks up, perhaps aware of my gaze.
いや、なんでもない。翡翠の顔を見て、ここが遠野の屋敷なんだって実感しただけだよ。
I get out of bed and take a deep breath. The clock says it's a little before 7 a.m. It's a bit earlier than I would usually wake up.
着替えてから下に行く。今じゃなくて食堂に行けばいいのか。
はい。食堂においでください。朝食の支度ができていますので。
わかった。ありがとう。
Hisui bows and leaves the room. I venture down to the first floor lobby. I've already changed my underclothes and put on my uniform. The dining room is just inside the west wing, mirroring the location of the parlor in the east wing. It's the large room to the left of the hall, on the opposite side of the stairs.
おはようございます、四季さん。早速朝食をご用意しますね。
Kohaku has been waiting for me, it seems. Hisui must have told her last night that being called master makes me uncomfortable. It seems Kohaku is has a little bit more flexibility when it comes to that sort of thing. They really are about as different as two people can be. Kohaku quickly sets the table. Prepared for me is a full traditional Japanese meal, a one soup, 3 sides set with rice. Except
しまった。昨日のうちに言っておくべきだった。
もしかして苦手なものが入っていました？四季さん、カブはお嫌いですか？
いえ、好き嫌いはあまりない方だと自負してますけど、なんていうか。
there's a little too much. I've always been a light eater, especially when it comes to breakfast. The more I eat, the worse my heartburn gets, until my appetite is totally gone. I feel pretty good today, so I could probably eat a full bowl of rice, but on bad days, I'll only manage a bite or two.
そうですか。小食だとは伺っておりましたので、これでも控えめにしてみたのですけど、ダメですか？
すみません。事故の後遺症のようなもので、こればかりはどうしようもないというか。あ、でもすごく美味しそうなのはわかります。この朝食は完璧ですね。
I quickly blurt out my honest impression. I don't want to seem ungrateful after Kohaku cooked a wonderful meal for me. None of this is her fault.
とにかくいただきます。残してしまったらごめんなさい。
いえ、お気になさらず。私もこの道のプロですもの。四季さんの適量を測らせていただきますから。では、どうぞ召し上がれ。お口に合わないようでしたら遠慮なく言ってくださいましね。
ごちそうさまでした。大変美味しかったです。
I bring my hands together and express my thanks. Kohaku's breakfast was a feast for the eyes as well as the stomach. It was delicately seasoned, with none of the flavors overpowering one another. Each bite served to only whet my appetite more. I'm sure most high school guys would have helped themselves to seconds or thirds.
けどすみません。せっかく用意してくれたのに残してしまって。
いいんです。先にお話を聞いておかなかった私の失敗ですから。それに十分嬉しゅうございます。四季さん、本当に美味しそうに召し上がってくれるんですもの。この日のために腕を磨いていた甲斐があったというものです。
Kohaku smiles sweetly. I think she's got things wrong. The joy's all mine, getting to see a smile like that.
といけません。もうこんな時間です。どうぞ私にお構いなく今の方に行ってくださいな。あちらで食後のお茶を用意いたしますから。あまり四季さんを独占していますと後が恐ろしゅうございますし。
Kohaku giggles as she continues tidying up. It's already 7:20 a.m., so I should start getting ready to go to school. I thank Kohaku one last time and leave the room. Hisui and Akiha are already in the parlor when I arrive. Akiha is wearing the uniform for Asagami Girls Academy, a prestigious school for young ladies.
よう、おはよう、アキハ。
おはようございます、兄さん。今朝は起床時間が遅かったようですが、まあよしとしましょう。初日につきよく寝つけなかったということにしておきます。
Snippy is the first word that comes to mind. It's probably not a good idea to tell her that. I actually woke up earlier than usual this morning.
すい、兄さんに食後の紅茶を。私ももう一杯いただきます。
かしこまりました。四季様、お砂糖はお入れしますか？
ああ、うん。じゃあ一つだけ。
Thus begins an inexplicable morning. Hisui places a cup on the table and returns to her position by the wall. I take a sip of the ruby-colored tea and... Hold on, what is this?
めちゃくちゃうまい。苦いのに甘い。複雑なのに喉越しがすっきりしていて、そもそも香りがこうクリスマスっぽい。
Flabbergasted, I ramble on nonsensically. I didn't care much for the lavishness of the mansion I saw yesterday, but this tea is something else entirely.
今朝はマリアージュのエスプリドノエルですね。紅茶の名店といえばイギリスですが、こちらはフランスの名店です。創業そのものは1850年頃。日本に上陸したのはつい最近。15年ほど前だからメジャーではないものの、品質に問題はありません。クリスマスという表現は曖昧すぎて評価しづらいですけど、不思議とニュアンスは伝わりますね。
Akiha laughs, seemingly having found my reaction amusing.
お値段もお手頃だそうですし、庶民派な兄さんに合わせてみた甲斐がありました。上質の葉には黄金に等しい価値があると勉強になりましたか？
She looks down on me as if I'm a Neanderthal to her sophisticated queen. Even the way she returns her cup to its saucer is refined. I hate to admit it, but she's right. So, this is what real tea tastes like. What have I been drinking up until now? I finally understand why all those trading companies sprouted up just to get their hands on this stuff. 10 minutes have passed since I came to the parlor. Akiha and I spent most of the time enjoying our tea. Few words were spoken. Every time our eyes met, we both turned our gazes back to our cups. Honestly, I've never felt more awkward. But even so, it wasn't a bad way to spend time. Having abandoned her for so long, seeing Akiha able to pass time peacefully like this fills me with an emotion I can't quite explain. Relief? Is that what this is? Regardless, it makes me happy to see Akiha here in front of me. Just as I'm enjoying things, a strange noise comes from the hall. Oh, okay, that is very odd.
乱雑乱暴最後に乱心スタンピードに地獄行き
The sound of someone's horrendously off-tempo humming creeps through the wall.
はーい、グッモーニングどうしちゃんたらおはようちゃん
The thing that slams open the door is decked out in an outfit that's just as outrageous as her entrance. A top that doesn't leave much to the imagination and a tight leather skirt. Her long hair is crudely bound together. She doesn't seem to be wearing makeup, but her lips are strangely captivating. Her reddish blonde hair, combined with the fact that she's taller than me, tells me she's not Japanese. Although they do make Japanese that are taller than men, you know. Shiki is a little sheltered. Now, I glance at her unmistakable curves. She does have a great figure. She gives off the impression of a woman, the kind of person that would be more suited to lounging on the beach somewhere instead of standing here in this old mansion. At least she would if it weren't for her white coat, which strangely suits her.
おはようございます、アラク先生。今日は何のご用でしょう。定期診断は昨日のはずでしたが。
いやー、昨日はちょっと乗り気になれなくて夕日を見てたらムラっときちゃって調査ほっぽり出して街に飛び出したのよ。まあ率直に言えばサボりなんで今日こそきちんとお仕事したくて朝からやってきたわけ。あ、メイドちゃん、私にも紅茶プリーズ。砂糖は4さじないし5さじ、気分的には6さじみたいな。
That is way too much sugar. The woman in the white coat barges into the parlor. Of course, I drink black coffee, and I don't put sugar in my tea. One grain of sugar is too much for me. Her eyes naturally meet with mine.
あれあれれあれれれれおおむふむむむ
She stares at me. After scanning me for some time, I catch the woman smirking at me when...
この屋敷もう殺すとか殺されるとか悲劇に突っ走る気満々じゃない
The woman is doubled over, howling with laughter. All I can do is frown. Who is this person? Akiha called her doctor, but...
アラク先生、兄さんに紹介をしてもよろしいでしょうか。
Akiha coughs and chides the woman, seeing my predicament.
紹介って私のこと？それともしきちゃん？いいわよ、そんな無駄なこと。しきちゃんのことなら牧久くんから聞いてるし。しきちゃんだって私みたいなよそ者の事情なんて興味ないでしょ。つうかそんな解消があるならトウシちゃんに向けてあげろって話。
From Makihisa? Then this woman knew my father?
そうそう、私はもともと気ままなデラシネ、風に漂う砂しの雲みたいな女だったんだけど、牧久くんとはちょっと縁があって、行くところがないならうちで一緒に暮らさないかとかクールに口説かれちゃったわけ。でも残念、牧久くんはちょっとタイプじゃないんであっさり断って、今はトウシちゃんのお友達なのかしら。
I look over to Akiha to confirm if what I've just been told is true. I don't have the courage to talk to this woman directly.
ええ、アラク先生はお父様の大学時代の後輩です。今は父の友人として私の相談役になってもらっています。
私その呼び方嫌い。はかせ。私のことは親しみと愛情を込めて アラク博士って呼んでくれなきゃ博士泣いちゃ
I mean, I already like her. Arak laughs, not looking even the least bit sad. Except, even mid-laughter, I notice that her eyes have never left me since she entered the room, like we're connected by a thread.
どうぞ、アラク様。お茶が入りました。
Hisui intervenes. Either unaware or unfazed by our conversation, she serves to calm Arak's energy.
う。もうメイドちゃんったらほんとメイドの鏡ね。
She's not happy to be interrupted. Arak puts a hand on her hip as she downs her sugar-filled tea in one breath.
おう、ナイスシュガー。糖分が五臓六腑に染み渡るっていうか、子宮とか卵巣にキュンと溶けいっちゃってたまんないラブ入ってきた。
Oh, okay.
じゃ、定期診断に行ってきます。大浴場の空調がおかしいんでしょ。わかってるわかってる。ささっとチェックして、ついでに4クラスターとか足してみましょう。
Arak saunters over to the door to the hallway, laughing all the while. She turns to face me, her hand on the doorknob.
よろしくね、しきちゃん。よそ者同士仲良くしましょう。これからいろいろあるでしょうけど、もう本当にどうしようもなくなったらダメ元で私に相談しにいらっしゃい。
The intruder leaves the same way she arrived, humming to herself. An awkward silence pervades the parlor.
なあ、アキハ。
アラク先生については私もよくは知りません。お父様の遺言の関係で屋敷本館への出入りと手入れを一任されている方です。お父様は建築家として重宝をなさっていたとか。ご本人曰く建築業は副業だそうですが。
Akaha explains the situation curtly. She answers before I could even ask who the woman was, as if to say she doesn't want me to asking any more questions.
失礼いたしますね。アキハ様、そろそろ登校のお時間。おや、何やら緊迫した雰囲気ですね。はあはあ、朝から無理難題を言って早速四季さんを怯えさせてしまったのですか？
あなたね、早速とは何ですか？早速とは。第一、私は理不尽な決まり事は口にしません。常識的な範囲でのお願いをするだけです。
Kohaku seems amused by Akiha's defense. It's only the second day, but I feel like I'm starting to understand their relationship.
それでは私は学校に向かいます。兄さん、昨夜も言いましたが、門限は厳守するように。昨夜のニュースはご覧になっていますか？
なってないよ。携帯電話は誰かに取り上げられたからね。理不尽気味に。
そうですか。では明日から朝刊を今に用意させます。早めに起床し、一日のニュースに目を通すといいでしょう。
From there, she goes again. My sarcasm is quickly hurled back into my face by her cold, pointed response.
ニュースによると、昨夜宗谷駅北口で不老者の遺体が発見されたそうです。栄養失調による凍死とも出血による衰弱死とも報道されています。真相はどうあれ、このところ繁華街の治安は良くないようです。そんな時に出歩いてくだらない事件に巻き込まれては遠野家の恥ですから。学校が終わり次第、日が落ちる前に屋敷に戻ることを心がけてください。
Akaha leaves the parlor after reminding me of my curfew. But if she wants me home before the sun sets, that means I'll have to be back by 6. Why even make my curfew 8 o'clock then? The clock in the parlor puts the time at 7:30 a.m. I can make it to school as long as I have 30 minutes to spare, but will Akiha arrive on time? I think I remember Asami Girls Academy being pretty far away. Huh?
四季さん、四季さん、聞こえますか？そう、あなたです。秋葉様の容赦ない仕打ちに打ちひしがれ、絶望に膝を折っているあなたに話しかけています。
What is she doing? Hidden behind the sofa, she gestures for me to come over to her.
聞こえていますけど、何ですか、琥珀さん。
違います。私は使用人であって使用人ではない曖昧な存在なので、これをあなたにお返しするのです。
Kohaku pulls out a cell phone from the sleeve of her kimono. That's my phone that Akiha confiscated yesterday.
いいんですか？
はい。でも秋葉様には内緒ですよ。見つからないように注意してくださいね。あと屋敷内で使うのもお控えください。まあ電波の通りがあまり良くないので、使いたくても使えないとは思いますが。
琥珀さん。
At least someone in the Tohno manor is on my side. I take the phone and quickly slip it into the inner pocket of my uniform.
あとはこちらもどうぞ。正門の認証カードです。ブザーを押していただければ私の方でロックを解除しますが、警備室まで行くのにどうしても時間がかかってしまいますので、ご面倒とは存じますが、お急ぎの時はこちらで正門の鍵を開けていただければ助かります。
A key card for the gate? The Tohno sure don't slouch when it comes to security.
それでは私は秋葉様をお見送りしてきます。後のことは翡翠ちゃんにお任せしますね。はい、いってらっしゃい姉さん。
Kohaku hurries off after Akiha.
四季様のお時間はよろしいのですか？
ああ、ここから学校まで歩いても30分だからね。今は7時半だろ。途中でちょっと走れば間に合うよ。でも気にかけてくれてありがとう、翡翠。
Hisui nods, seemingly satisfied with my explanation.
それでは外までお見送りいたします。
ああ、うん、どうも。
Having a personal maid really is embarrassing. I rise from the sofa in response to Hisui's urging. Disregarding the intruder earlier, my first morning in the mansion after 7 years passed without much issue. Hisui sees me out as I leave the mansion. The Tohno estate rests atop a high hill on the outskirts of Suya, quite a distance from the station. From the vast stretch of the forest in the area, it's easy to think that the manor was built simply to be an entrance to it. It only takes a little more than 30 minutes to pass the station and get to the school from here. I should be able to make it in time for homeroom if I hurry a bit. I make my way down the long decline. It's my first time taking this route to school, since I always took the train when I was with the Automas. It almost feels like I'm going to an entirely different school.
あんまりいないな、うちの学生。
I don't see many from Soya High in this area. 7:30 a.m. I seem to be the only one wearing a school uniform. Unlike the south exit yesterday, the north exit is crowded with commuters. Men in suits rush by on their way to work, the kind of sight that's entirely common. They appear unbothered by the recent happenings in the city. Or at least it's not enough to warrant changing their day-to-day schedule. Regardless, there's no obvious change to the town. I guess few would avoid going out at night based on a bad feeling like Arahiko. I head to the residential district away from the station. Unlike before, the road here is packed with uniformed students. My phone tells me I have 5 minutes until the school gate closes. I quicken my pace, dashing down the asphalt path so I won't be late. It took me around 30 minutes, just like I told Hisui. I did have to run once or twice, so I should leave a bit before 7:30 if I want to have plenty of time. Haruhiko isn't here today. I guess him coming yesterday really was a fluke. I walk over to my desk, greeting my classmates on the way. I check my phone for a few minutes until homeroom starts. I scan the morning news as well as both school forums, the official one created by at the behest of the young teachers and an anonymous board made by students. There's nothing particularly interesting this morning. I look up and find that the vast majority of other students are spending their time in a similar fashion. Apparently, most of the teachers over 30 say we don't have any real friends, a common misconception by the previous generations. All that's changed is how we define our friendship. We value our friends behind the monitor as much as those we talk to in person. Our class gets along just fine. If anything, it used to be difficult to make friends outside of your own class. But that's not the case anymore. It's easier than ever to find people you click with. Homeroom doesn't need to be like a family anymore, as long as people will get along okay. The rapid growth of the internet has bridged any gap in knowledge caused by age. We might not share the same wealth of experience, but I'd say we're pretty even when it comes to day-to-day things. They say we have no passion, no dreams, no hopes, but I don't think that's our fault. The world is smaller than it used to be. Even elementary schoolers know just how stalled our society has become, which is why it's become difficult to have dreams in this day and age. That's what it means to share information. The larger our collective knowledge grows, the smaller the lives of the people who possess it seem to become. People used to look beyond the horizon to learn. There's no need anymore. We don't need to go anywhere. People may be free, but they've lost all reason to venture outside their narrow world. Whether that be the classroom, school, or city, people feel trapped. At least that's what people say, and that's just their personal opinion. I don't feel that sense of being trapped. I don't have any problems with our society or feel like we're stuck. The only thing I'm worried about is enjoying every day I have as much as I can. To start with, it's probably wrong for someone dreaming of the simple life to drone on about the complexities of society. I bet I'm full of misconceptions. The bell for homeroom rings while I'm lost in thought. The students who had been chatting away return to their seats. I put away my phone and ready my mind for class. Thus begins my second day of school since returning home. It's been 3 minutes since homeroom began. A replacement for Miss Toyama has yet to arrive. Murmuring spread through the classroom. The class isn't far from crumbling into disorder. The students have completely lost focus. Everyone would prefer to goof off until the first period if we're going to be forgotten about anyways. Just 1 more minute. We'll behave for 1 more minute. After that, we can do whatever we want. Just as we all make the unspoken agreement, the door rolls open.
はーい、皆さん静かに静かに。ホームルームを始めますよ。
The classroom falls silent. We stare at the complete stranger who just entered the room. She obviously isn't Japanese. In fact, she looks more like a college student than a teacher.
あれ？何かしらこの空気。皆さん揃ってカチンコチンになっちゃってるけど。何？私ったらバジ系女子？ああ、いけない。ちょっと例えがマイナーよね。日本風に言うとリング系女子？でも先生、名前は貞子じゃないんだけど。
I cringe. Still a pretty ancient reference. The woman doesn't seem to be bothered by it. She stands behind the teacher's podium and gives an exaggerated cough.
はじめまして。富山先生が転任なされたので、その代行としてやってきた新任の藍染ノエルです。1ヶ月だけのお付き合いになりますが、皆さんよろしくお願いします。担当学科は体育と英語。好きな食べ物はモンブラン。
もらって嬉しいプレゼントは現金ないしウェブマネーで NG ワードはペットショップ。質問は随時受け付けますので遠慮なくアタックしてください。
Okay. A thunderous crash breaks the silence. The sound originated from a male student who jumped up from his chair after seeing Miss Noel's wink. I have to admit, it got me as well. Miss Noel isn't what I'd call an absolute stunner, but that only adds to her charm. I guess you could say it makes her more approachable. She's the kind of slightly older woman guys my age are really into. Her charm is hard to put into words, but there's something about her that I think tickles every high school guy's fancy.
ノエル先生はおいくつなんでしょうか。それよりどこにお住まいなんでしょうか。
Oh, okay, that second one's pretty weird.
休みの過ごし方とか趣味が知りたいです。つうか、好きな高校生のタイプは誰ですか。
Oh, that one's also pretty awkward too. A wave of questions comes flooding from the boys. Stuff like this would usually be saved for the anonymous message boards, but after that wink, it seems the guys couldn't wait. The girls look at the boys like they're human trash, but that doesn't seem to bother them, now feverishly bombarding Miss Noel with questions.
トビウオみたいな反応ありがとう。年齢はどうせ女子の皆さんが暴いちゃうだろうから言っちゃうと25歳。住まいは2駅隣の賃貸マンション。好きなタイプは大人の頭の文系男子。趣味は日曜教会でお手伝いをしています。隣町の教会だから興味があったらお祈りに来てくれると先生嬉しいな。
Oh, hey Metal Wolf.
教会？何先生、シスターなの？っていうか、趣味でシスターやってるんですか？
ええ、私の国じゃそう珍しいことじゃありません。まだまだボランティアレベルで悩める子羊の告白を解決してあげてるだけですけど。
Miss Noel's surprising openness creates a stir among the male students. If I'm being honest, the word none has piqued my own interest. The girls, on the other hand, are playing with their phones in silence. I casually check on the anonymous students' forums to see what they're saying. The boys are so gross. Do they actually think anyone would be into them? She's not even that pretty. I wish she'd do that, oh, look at me, I'm French thing somewhere else. She's like not even hiding how much she's loving this. About what I expected. More and more gossip is posted to the forum. Before long, the class has been bizarrely split along gender lines. The tribes are firmly divided into disgusting boys and nasty girls, a war of cliques right out of middle school. Miss Noel smiles wanly. Is that wanly? No, it's wanly, as she watches the chaos unfold.
この子たち、頭の程度は大丈夫なのかしら。
Okay. Not something you'd expect to hear from a teacher. Unable to keep up with what's happening, I take a look around and meet eyes with Imazuka. It seems like she feels the same as me. What is happening? The classroom is lively. What should have been a normal day now feels anything but. Morning classes have ended. The classroom feels even more restless than usual. Tensions have been simmering between the guys and the girls since third period, Miss Noel's class. It seems that the girls have put Miss Noel in the teachers we don't like category. In any case, it's lunch now. Most of the class is making their way to the cafeteria or the school store. The only ones left in the classroom are Imazuka and her group of friends. Now, where should I get lunch? Oh, that's right. It's weird having Y be the save button or the menu button. Usually it's X. Let's see. I'll eat at the cafeteria. I'll buy some bread and eat in the classroom. I'll go out in the hallway and think about it. Well, you know what? Why don't we stop it there? This is meowmurai. You've been watching Tsukihime, a piece a blue glass moon running on Nintendo Switch 2. Of course, this is the remake, not the original. We're not going to play H games here. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching. I will see you at the next stream. Although apparently this has like more blood and violence, so I don't know if that's any better. I might have to cut a lot of stuff out for the folks that watch this on TikTok. Sorry guys, TikTok's a lot more sensitive about that stuff.